A journey to healthy eating can include many obstacles. Depending on what we have learned so far, what habits we have picked up along the way, and what our current lifestyle is like. Some of these obstacles might be easy to overcome, while others might feel more challenging. Today, I'd like to share with you the hard obstacles I faced, the steps I took to make healthier food choices, and the strategies I used to succeed. Let me know in the comments if any of these resonate with you. 1. Learn how to read labels properly. Learning how to read labels is an integral part of making smart decisions when it comes to food. For many people, reading food labels means checking the amount of calories and the sugar and fat percentages. What would be more beneficial to do instead is to look at the ingredient lists. This way, we will be able to know exactly what we are ingesting and what direct impact those ingredients have on our bodies. For example, there are sweeteners that have 0 calories, so they wouldn't add up in the nutrition facts. But maybe these are the types of sweeteners that have been shown to be harmful for our gut health. Disrupting our gut microbiome has more dangerous consequences long-term than thinking, this doesn't have much sugar, so it should be okay for me. Same thing applies to the type of protein and fat contained in our foods and artificial ingredients added for better taste. Understanding the ingredients used in food production can enable us to make informed decisions that can have a positive impact on our health. 2. Understanding my past. Digging into my past has been a useful process for understanding some of my present habits and behaviors. I discovered how my behaviors were shaped by my childhood, my family, and the people I surround myself with. Identifying the causes of behaviors I wanted to change made it easier to find the right solutions and choose a better path to happiness. For instance, I have never been a big drinker, but during difficult emotional times, I found that alcohol and chips would provide some relief. Now, if I ever feel the urge for alcohol and chips again, I know something is wrong, and I can take the time to understand what I need to address and work on it. When we understand our past and start addressing our present behaviors, it can have a snowball effect in our life, helping us to change many of our habits, including those related to healthy eating. 3. Learn the science and how to interpret the study. With the abundance of information available to us, it is essential to discern what is real and what is not. For instance, reading an article online, even if it is from a reputable magazine or newspaper, is not the same as reading scientific studies published in a legitimate database. It is beneficial to understand the science behind what we heard and read, particularly in nutrition. Moreover, it is important to be able to recognize valid and invalid data and the nuances between them. Knowing the various types of studies and which ones generate more reliable data, such as clinical trial versus an observational study, can help us draw the most accurate conclusions. 4. Find alternatives to fruit juices. In one of my previous videos, I talked about why I decided to stop drinking fruit juices. The hardest part was to find a healthy alternative to substitute the sweet pleasure. That's how I started learning about teas. The first step was to explore the flavors available and found those I liked best, especially those that were naturally sweet, so I didn't need to add any sweetener. Teas are usually associated with winter, but I discovered some make delicious iced teas too. 5. Understanding the importance of protein and choose the right type. When I was studying for my master's degree in nutrition, I learned that if we consume too much protein, our body must expend extra energy to get rid of the excess as waste. As a result, I started cutting out protein, and when I moved to Bulgaria, for various reasons, I stopped buying meat and fish, which didn't feel good for my body. However, after investigating more, listening to what experts have been talking about in recent years, and experimenting with my own body, I'm now aware of the importance of protein, particularly from animal. I tend to buy meat and cheese from grass-fed beef and pasture-raised animals. My portion per meal are usually as big as the palm of my hand, and I always make sure to consume it with plenty of vegetables. This way, I feel more energized throughout the day, I feel full for longer, and I know how important it is for my muscle composition and to maintain my strength, now that I'm in my mid-40s and especially for the years to come. 6. Learn to track my own data. I started collecting data with a simple habit tracker I could modify on my computer. This was especially useful for tracking consistency when starting a new habit. If you think this could be a good tool for you right now, you can download a copy of it from the link in the description below. More recently, I have created a Notion database to track things like sleep quality, wake-up time, gym visits, fasting window, and more. Looking at the data can help me understand why I'm feeling a certain way. For instance, if I'm feeling low on energy, I can check if I slept well or worked out the day before. As a woman, I also track my period, since hormones can affect the energy levels and mood. The most beneficial tracker I have used is a continuous glucose monitor. It shows how food impacts our blood sugar levels, and our goal should always be to avoid glucose spikes. Wearing a CGM allows me to do my own tests and collect data. For instance, I saw that my breakfast was creating a glucose spike, which I now know I can avoid by eating a boiled egg before my oats. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to create an in-depth video about glucose spikes and CGMs. 7. Give up pasta. Almost. Can you imagine how hard it is for an Italian to give up pasta? I'm actually a bit afraid to say it out loud. They might confiscate my passport. Jokes aside, growing up, pasta used to be an almost daily staple in our family meals. But it was also just the first course. After eating pasta, we would have the second course, which included some type of protein like cheese, meat, eggs or fish, and lots of vegetables. We would then conclude the meal with fruits. Eating pasta as part of such a balanced, full meal makes sense since the entire meal would include all the food groups. But it became a problem when I started living all by myself, and due to lack of time, I stopped eating a 3-course meal and just made a quick and easy pasta. So I switched from eating all the food groups to eating mostly carbs. Once I understood this concept, I had to learn how to make balanced meals that would include all the food groups and still save me time. This also brings me to the next point. 8. Add variety to my diet. Learn how to incorporate more foods and flavors into my diet was a challenge for me. Growing up as a picky eater, I had a long list of foods I didn't eat, including basic ingredients like onion, green vegetables, mushrooms, peppers, and more. Additionally, my mom cooked daily and eating out or ordering in was rare. So I was used to the flavors of Italian cuisine and completely unfamiliar with flavors from other countries. Moving countries, traveling, and getting to know more cultures and cuisines helped me learn about new ingredients that slowly incorporate to my diet. This enabled me to expand my recipe repertoire and keep variety in my diet more easily. 9. Learn how to make a balanced meal. Knowing the right ingredients to use for our body is key, as it can help us create meals that taste great, feel satisfying, and are full of essential vitamins and minerals. It's important to recognize the different food groups our ingredients are part of, and be aware of how much of each should be included in a balanced meal. Fiber-rich foods should be the predominant ingredient in our plate, but we also need to make sure we add enough protein and fat to keep us strong and full for longer. Slow carbs can also be included. We can also adventure into trying new recipes and experiment with flavors and textures to easily create delicious, nutritious meals that will help us reach our health goals. Let's not forget to keep record of those recipes so that we can easily find them whenever we need inspiration on what to cook. 10. Beating sugar addiction. Stop eating junk food and beat sugar addiction was probably the hardest struggle of them all. But with time and some trial and error, I found the best strategies and I talk about them in this video here.